All right, everybody, we are live again for the Father's Day edition. We have the brother Amenkrahh on with us, and Grandmaster Amenkrahh, I'm sorry. And we're going to be discussing Kenya versus Ghana, which is best for African Americans to move to. Me personally, I love East Africa. I think I would say, as far as infrastructure wise, think well, let me take that back. I've only been in East Africa. I've only been to Kenya and Tanzania. But Kenya, the roads were good, infrastructure was good. I was impressed with Kenya. I would say, as far as infrastructure wise, Kenya is by far better than all the countries I've been to in West Africa, which would be Togo, Mali, Senegal, Ghana. I feel like I'm missing a country. Benin. I would definitely say Kenya is better as far as infrastructure. But personally, I'm a West African cat. I love West Africa. So I would be partial to say move to Ghana over Kenya, but that's purely out of emotion. Now, as far as looking at certain factors, which we could break down, I've been to both. I've been to Ghana. I've been to Kenya. Okay, here we go. I would say personally, I would say Kenya might be a little bit better, but me, just because I'm partial to West Africa, I like West Africa. It's closer to America, so if I need to get back to America, it's a quicker trip, obviously. I just emotionally, I like Ghana. I would choose Ghana over Kenya, but Amenkrahh, go ahead and take it away, because I know you sent me some article last week speaking on Ghana, and I forgot. I mean, speaking on Kenya, I forgot. If you could point me back to that article and I could post it, but go ahead and take it away. In fact, let me ask you this: why did you choose Kenya over Ghana? Because Ghana is more popular amongst Black Americans as far as repatriating. But why did you personally choose Kenya over Ghana?
Okay, to be fair, I didn't see any Wikipedia about Ghana. Basically, at that time, that's all we had was the site. That was in 1986. Because it's been a long time. So only thing that I saw was Nigeria, Africa, and Lagos was having a lot. Was very crowded. Then off to the side there was this city in the sun, and I started doing the research on Kenya, and I had to pick a country, so I picked. Now, once I came here, 2000, I went to 6 other countries: Mozambique, Malawi, and I forgot the other one. Anyway, Zimbabwe. I have to be fair, I have not been to Ghana. I've been to a small country about the size of Ghana in Malawi, and I had a there, and places like, okay, it's going to be basically like this. If it's going to be or it's going to be a city, or if they're going to have just the towns. I saw plenty of them. When I compared Ghana with Kenya, because I couldn't find that would make me say, okay, well, I would go to Ghana. So that case, and then you've been having some guests on in Ghana, and I had did a piece about 2 years ago That basically Kenya outperforms Ghana almost in every level. And then I had a brother that was in Ghana, came to I convinced Kenya, and he came, and he was in Mombasa, which is Kenya's second largest city, and he went to the city of Mombasa. Accra was half the size of Mombasa, and I was by that. And then another person came and told me the story of he was coming to Africa, he was going to Ghana, and he came brushing up on his Swahili. And when he got to Ghana, he started trying to talk Swahili, and Swahili, which is the largest spoken African language in Ghana. So this is I think of not only misinformation but a lack of information and understanding, or making their plans to to travel to another country, especially if they're traveling to live. Yeah.
Are you there, brother?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm there.
Okay. I think he went out for a second. Now somebody says there's nothing like best for African Americans. The thing is, Ghana is more safe than Kenya. What are your thoughts about that as far as safety? Amenkrahh, because in the past you guys have had the Somali situation with El Shabaab, so I know people bring that up. So what are your thoughts on safety?
All right. As far as this goes, arguments, we'll be going back. Somebody's going to start bringing up news articles, and someone's going to say, point to this fact, and you go back and forth. And I don't want to go there. Okay, so, and I understand that this is an emotional topic I've already chose as I know it's a seriously touch. I've already gone to Ghana. Okay, so I'm really interested in going back and forth over which one is it better based on the fact of some news reports. The fact of the matter that in Ghana, it has a far larger infrastructure, and it has a wider market of GDP. Hotels. It has more cities. It has you can't compare when you put the two down on the on a map and look at them and say look at what they have, and this is what you come across. Now I wanted to come on and make some points about this because I know people who failed to make a living and establish themselves and were forced to go back to the United States. And that was their experience of all of Africa. And someone told them that, Ghana is the place to go. And this is not true. Compare Ghana to Kenya. Because if you go somewhere and you're not learning, then you're going to have a problem, because we in the United States, even with our poor educational system, we're very learned and very wise when it comes to understanding business in the city life. So when you go to Ghana, you're going to have a struggle because the city is big. You coming?
Hey, Amenkrahh, you might have to, Grandmaster, you might have to cut your video off. It's just you keep going in and out.
Leaving, and I'm there. How's that? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better. It's just people in the chat room keep saying that you keep going in and out.
Okay. What about now? The video.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's see how that works. Go ahead. Grandmaster. Hello?
Okay, so
Go ahead.
okay, I don't want to go through a lot. Which one is safe? That the facts I want to go through are the opportunities of the two countries. So my issue, a larger infrastructure. It has more cities. The population is bigger. You live in a place, you have much more opportunities to do business than you do in Ghana. Probably 5 times more than you would. So also the trading with Kenya is part of the East African, Tanzania, Uganda, and even Ethiopia. Whereas Ghana,
the internet is it's not good.
Okay, well, what should I reset and start all over again?
Well, see, you sound fine now. It's just as you go, it's just it keeps going in and out. Like people are pointing out in the chat room.
Okay, well, because me, I'm set up. I'm looking. Seems like everything is good on my side.
Yeah, well, it sounds good now. But so just go ahead and keep going. Go ahead and keep going.
Okay, so I was saying that Kenya is part of the East African community. It has a lot of trade with its neighbors, Tanzania, Uganda, even Rwanda. They're building a high-speed train to go from the port of Mombasa all the way into the interior of Uganda. And these are things that are going to boost trade, boost opportunities, create cities, and create more job opportunities and business opportunities. Whereas Ghana is surrounded by French countries on both sides of the border. So the trade very minimal because of the fact that it's surrounded by countries that are not British African. And forgive me if I'm a little bit off on that point, but I'm just saying that they're not part of a community with the surrounding, which are the countries that on border them on both sides. So this is a big hamper. It hampers trade, and which hampers business, which hampers opportunity. And when we go through Ghana, they're trying to move up based on the economic growth that many African countries are experiencing now, but they aren't coming anywhere close to the amount of growth that Kenya is realizing right now. The growth in Kenya is phenomenal. The city of Mombasa is housing the headquarters for many major corporations, for the African headquarters for many organizations, and has been the African headquarters for the United Nations for many, many decades.
All right, good. So as far as the safety issue, you're saying they stop. So as far as the safety issue, you're saying that they shouldn't really, worry too much about what happened.
No, that's a side. No, talking about the safety is a side issue. Okay, the average person is far safer in Africa than he is in the U.S. So because some 3 or 4 gentlemen decided to shoot someone, or some village somewhere kidnap somebody, that can happen anywhere. So that's not my point. The average person is not going to experience these type of things that are going on, and we as the people don't really know what extent they are in either Ghana or in Kenya. But of course, you're going to talk about Kenya is going to have more crime because it has more population, it's larger, it does more, has more infrastructure, it does more business. So of course you're going to get a report on that, as opposed to in Ghana where you have one city and the city is like 3 blocks long, and then the rest of it is just little cities which don't have infrastructure. They don't have pipe water, they don't have electricity. So you don't, you know, this is the reason why someone can point right now. They're going on Google and trying to find crime in Kenya, and they want to come up with an argument. But I'm not talking about that, because we are not affected by a particular incident of crime. You see, so as long as we're talking about you know, looking and comparing, what we do is compare crime, which will not affect the average person. You know, the chances are very slim. And then you want to overlook the fact that I'm telling you that Kenya is almost 5 times the size of Ghana. It has more trade opportunities. All the things I'm telling you are things you need to look at when you're talking about relocating to Africa or even visiting Africa. Somebody has indoctrinated into our minds that everybody's going to go to, all black people need to go to Ghana. And I've been doing some research into that. And, you know, there is really no basis. There's really no, you know, basis for, you know, going to Ghana for your first trip, as opposed to going to East Africa or going to Kenya or Tanzania. Both these countries are on the rise. I think Tanzania was like the highest grossing city in the world as far as GDP was concerned. It was definitely was in the top 3, you know, highest GDP countries. People are not looking at that. Ghana is nowhere near there, and you're going to go to Ghana and you're going to sit there looking for some ways to live there, and you struggle to find opportunities. And the main reason why you struggle to find opportunities in Ghana, or why you get opportunities and they fail you, is because of the lack of infrastructure, and the size of the country is very small.
We have a question in the chat room. Could you repeat what you said about Swahili in Ghana, I believe? And I'm going to say, how you have it set up currently is perfect as far as the sound. So, I mean, yeah. So someone wanted to know if you could repeat what you said about Swahili, because you were going in and out.
Okay. Yeah, that's very important, because Swahili is the largest spoken African language. It's spoken and done trade all the way into the Congo. Even the Congolese speak Swahili, Rwandans speak Swahili, Ethiopians, Tanzania, of course, Kenya, you know, that's the basic language here. And Ghana, they don't speak Swahili. They have their own dialect, and that dialect, it covers a very small amount of people. So this also hampers trade, because you can't communicate over a certain span of area. I just want people to try to understand where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to say, or I'm trying to put Ghana down. I'm just trying to make people realize that to take a second look at East Africa, as opposed to going where you see black people go, because there are a lot of horror stories, and you know our people like to keep to themselves when they go through struggle. But there's still a lot of horror stories of blacks coming into Ghana and ended up being broke and having to go to the embassy to get a plane ticket back home. So this is a realization.
Go ahead and finish, and I have a question for you. Go ahead and finish, and I have a question for you in regards to that.
Yeah, I'm finished. So what's the
question is, okay, now you have, in the guest I had on last week, he brought up how Ghanaians run a lot of scams. I mean, they'll scam their mom. And not only they scam their mom, if they will scam their mom, they'll scam a Black American. How, dealing with Kenyans as far as business, you being a Black American, how honorable are Kenyans when it comes to doing business?
It's far better. It's far, you know, the reason, part of the reason that you have Ghanaians scamming Black Americans is because the country is small, and there's still a great lack of infrastructure, which means that there's not that many job opportunities. So when you get an influx of a lot of foreigners, whether they be Black Americans or whites, you're going to get this. You get this in every country. You'll even get that in Kenya. But the fact of the matter is, with education, you can bypass that. You know, if somebody came to me and said, I'm coming to Kenya, I want to do business, can you help me? Fine, I can steer them. I can steer them in the right direction and tell them what to look out for, so that they don't have to go through the same thing. But you know, our people are like to be independent, so they'll come here. They don't want to ask for help. They want to, I don't know why. They want to just try to see if they can do everything on their own, or they're too embarrassed to ask for assistance, and then they get scammed. You know, so you know, I'm here with a brother not too long ago, and the brother, you know, we started getting along. We was even hanging out together, and I was there. I was helping him along, and he asked me a lot of questions, and then he was decided he was going to go back to Asia, where from the Philippines or wherever he was going, and you know, he decided that he was going to get his deposit back for his apartment, and he didn't mention it to me. So by the time he came to me, he was talking, oh, you see, the people in Kenya, they're so corrupt, they took my money, blah, 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 blah. So I'm asking him, brother, what happened? Oh, I went there, A, B, C, D, cut the long story short. Well, he went there by himself and didn't know the language, and that let him take advantage of him. So that happens even in the US. So it's not like there are scammers everywhere. So, but as far as Ghana is concerned, you're going to get a lot more of that because of the fact that the country is small and it has a small infrastructure. If you start getting a load of Black Americans coming there, you're going to get scammers that are going to feed off of them or try to feed off of them. Any country you go to, whether you go to Asia, even if you went to Russia, you're going to find that. Maybe not an Arab country, but in most countries, you're going to find it. It's not because you're Black. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Let's see what other questions we have. Can Black Americans buy land in Kenya?
I'm sorry, you can buy land in Kenya? So you can buy land in Kenya. But there's a very good show on YouTube from a Kenyan brother he has put out like a load of videos telling you step by step how to buy land, where to get land, how the process of buying land works in Kenya. So I can't remember his name right now, but if you just type land, Google land in Kenya, you'll find in YouTube, you'll find his videos, or you can visit my Black American Black Man's Guide to Visiting Africa site on Facebook, and you can also find it. He goes through things very thoroughly. And the process in Kenya, there again, is more digitalized. They talk about he talks about title deeds, and he says the title deeds are worthless. You know, that's just a piece of paper. It doesn't mean you own the land if you have a title deed. There is another paper that most people that deal in real estate in Kenya know about. It's called a green book or something like that. And that green book is in
Ghana too.
Yeah, and that book shows who owns the land all the way through. You see, so he goes to that. And he talks about expats buying land in Kenya. So there's no difference that I can see, except for the fact that if you buy land somewhere on a hill, even if it's a few hundred yards from the beach, if there's no infrastructure, if there's no electricity, if there's no pipe water, running water, no drainage system, and I have seen people buy houses, you know, like this, and you get the house and you have the money, you build it, but then what? You can't really live there unless you can't live there because you don't have electricity and you don't have drainage system, and you don't have running water. So living there is just like a big cement tent in the wilderness, like you're camping. You see, your neighbors are far. You got some land. You don't have a way to fence the land. So if you don't have a way to fence the land or build a wall around the property, then you see your valuables can't really be safe there. You get what I'm saying? Right. So this is the problem. I have gone to people whose house they have a house in somewhere very, very nice house. They they had the mindset to build because that was their that's their family tradition. Blah blah. By their own land. He's got a house. He's got an apartment in Nairobi, and that's where he does all his business from. He said, "But when I die, I'll have a place to go." And you die, and this place is just there, in the middle of the boonies. Come on. No, we have to start thinking rather than just reacting. And I see people they want to buy a house so that they can say that they bought a house. And I did that when I was younger, and it was a mistake. I wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars on a big mistake because I wasn't ready to settle down in one particular place. And even though that place was in the middle of the city, in the middle of Pasadena, but the house that's put out somewhere where you can't get there, and then when the rainy season comes, the road can't be passed. You see? Oh, but I got a good deal on this land. It only cost me, these many much money. No, there's a reason why property goes up in value when you have all the amenities, and that reason needs to be looked at. A cheap house and then spend more money trying to get electricity, piping, water, road, security, like that. So I behoove people that have not gone there yet, and I think this video is for them. Not trying to. I know I'm going to get reactions from people who are already in Ghana, but I have been in Africa for 21 years, and I visited 6 African countries. I know what I'm talking about when I tell you that you need to be somebody, especially if you're a cityfied African American. You need to be somewhere where there's infrastructure for so many reasons that are important.
I would say this too. Now, both I think Kenya coming later on this year, they're going to be offering direct flights from Nairobi to New York.
They're going to be?
Kenya is going to be offering direct flights from Nairobi to New York.
Oh, brother, it's more than just direct flights.
I mean, that's part for some people. That's part of it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but there's more to it than the direct flights. They're building a whole new port that's going to pipe the oil that's coming out of South Sudan. And the port is bigger than the Mombasa port is the biggest. Tanzania is also building a big port, but Kenya is building a second port, plus a pipeline. Plus, they just started pumping oil in Kenya. And as you know, Kenya is the only country on the east side that has a oil refinery. So they can refine their own oil. And this last week, the president waved off the first oil trucks that was taking oil to the Kenyan refinery. And everybody's enthusiastic about the price of oil going down. Because as you may know, Nigeria is the #1 oil producer, but it didn't have a refinery that could reach the capacity of the country's oil needs. So Dahante, I forget how to say his name, the richest man in Africa, is building a new refinery.
Dagate.
Yeah, Dante. He's building a mega refinery in Nigeria. As we speak, I think it's almost near completion. But these are things that are happening in Kenya. Along with the direct flights. Now, you see, Obama came here a few years ago, and only thing the Kenyans wanted to talk about was direct flights, and Obama couldn't give them. And people were like, what the hell is he coming here for? And Obama came here and started talking about, let the gays be happy, let the gays hold hands. And I'm like, so the president, Uhuru, told him off on stage. Told him, "You don't bring that shit. That's not an African thing. we don't want to even discuss it. He tried to tell them on TV because Obama kept trying to push the issue. So those people that think like Africa countries are run by the United States, they need to get that speech where Uhuru had to get on the mic and tell him, no, we don't do that here. And this flies in the face of people who come to think like African countries are somehow controlled by the West, or they're beholden to the West. Nothing could be farther from the truth. But I want to pick history and go back and remember what happened in Ghana during independence. The leader was murdered. The first president was murdered, and the CIA was involved in that murder. Yes, the CIA was heavily involved in Ghana, and they still have a base in Ghana today, and they're heavily involved in Ghana. And I want someone to maybe do the research instead of looking at the crime in Kenya. Do the research on the CIA's involvement in why blacks have chosen to come to Ghana, a place that don't have infrastructure, one of the smallest African countries that there is, and that doesn't have any type of serious trade with its country's next door neighbors. So these are the things that we should look at, because BBC did a report. It's also on my Facebook site, Black Man's Guide to Visiting Africa, did a report on the CIA's involvement in not only the first president's assassination, but also with current, other presidents of Ghana. So So we as blacks have to take a look at these things and be very cautious about leaving the United States, because I have said, and I say it again, the greatest fear of the racist white man is black people leaving the United States en masse. That is his, that we would leave that country and say, I'm out. You see? And with that, knowing how the consequences of anything, and they have seen many times over when it comes to our people. So you have seriously, could they be pointing blacks towards Ghana? Know that there's great things, and the language barrier was going to keep the people from a black person from America to expand into most parts. So I've seen had him and some other African Americans bar, and then the hotel had to close because business. They got the money together to purchase it, but then they had all kind of problems renting because lack of business is a point that we have to look at, especially when you start doing big business, have bank loans. You know, there are a lot of problems with the money together.
That Rahh, you must have moved or switched positions because your internet is going in and out again.
Because the country, thing is on charge, I'm good.
All right, well, just keep going. I'm just saying, well, just keep going. Just keep going. You know.
So so I don't slow to change. So from today, the reality, I think once they start to think, they might see me as great, pointing out the unpopular truth. historically, West Africa has been a problem for blacks. You know, the West had influence in West Africa, whereas this is another thing that we United States
Damn, Raw, we're losing you again.
Oh man.
But let me ask you this: a lot of Black Americans feel like Ghana is the place to relocate because we've been heavily involved in Ghana for the past since Ghana was independent. What are your thoughts on that?
Where in progress of blacks that blacks moved to Ghana, but so many blacks in the Americans now. One room place there with a Ghanaian. They might have started some small business, but they're living at a very low level because they can afford them to make during the time when I lived in
I was gonna say this. I was gonna say this, bro. Restart your internet, bro. Come back on, because you're giving too much good information, and us in the chat room, is going in and out.
Okay, 2 minutes. Get to
Yeah, bro. Restart. Go ahead and restart. I'm wrong. Come back on. All right, appreciate it. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining us. Sorry about the technical difficulties. In the meantime, make sure you guys like and share the video. People who super chatted, shout out to O'Shea for the super chat, and also shout out to brother Vermel Sexton for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you for contributing so we can continue to grow this platform. If you're watching, please hit that like button. The least you could do, hit the like button and also share the content. Make sure you spread the word on the content. Really appreciate that. Also, make sure you go to search for Uhuru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, Africa Personified on those same platforms. Also, if you're new to the platform, please subscribe. And also, when you subscribe, hit that bell so you get all the notifications as far as when we live stream and when I post a new video. Also, make sure you go to africapersonified.africa, search for uhuru.com, dynasamir.com, and also amazon.com. Search your name, Dynasamir. Please buy video. Let's see here. How did any of you guys celebrate Juneteenth? Yesterday, I was at Mosley Park here in Atlanta. Enjoyed myself. Had the opportunity to meet a lot of people. Me and my son and a good friend of mine and his daughter, we were all out there kicking it. It was hot as hell, but we had a great time, even though it was hot as hell out there. So definitely had a good time. Anti-gravity 74 June. Juneteenth was the day that the slaves found out that they were free here in America. Because that's the thing. You got Black people that will celebrate July 4th, St. Patrick's Day, freaking Cinco de Mayo, but they're not celebrating Juneteenth, which is an embarrassment. So yeah, but Juneteenth is was pretty much when the slaves found out that they were free. here in America. But again, Black people celebrate. Well, we celebrated it this past yesterday, but it is Tuesday, and I think it's a Juneteenth is actually a national. In some states, it's an official holiday. In some states, I don't know about here in Georgia, but in some states, it's an official holiday. So yeah, but that's crazy. Black folks would celebrate everybody else's holiday, everybody else's Independence Day, and not celebrate Juneteenth. I'm like, golly. So we had, I know in Galveston, Texas, I know they have a huge celebration out there because, but we celebrated out here in Georgia too. We had a big celebration yesterday out here in Atlanta. But I know, from my understanding, people who are in Texas, Galveston, they really set it out in Galveston, because I think that was like I think in Galveston is where they found out last. I forgot the story. Lumalu or somebody from Texas who's in the chat room. Galveston is like where they first announced it, I believe. Either they first announced it or they found out the last of the remaining slaves found out on June 19th. So they call it Juneteenth. I think that's is where either they were the first to find out or the last to find out. I forgot officially what the story is behind that. But yeah. But again, Black folks will be leprechauns. They'll put on sombreros, and call themselves Mexican. You know, but damn it, they ain't celebrating Juneteenth. So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Galveston was the last, but I think Galveston, they have the largest celebration, from my understanding. So yeah, I think Galveston is Galveston's the largest, where they have the largest celebration. I heard it's cracking in Galveston as we speak. But here in Atlanta, they do a parade on Friday, then Saturday and Sunday they have events. They did it at Mosley Park this year. Usually it's at Clark, Atlanta. So yeah. So yep. Nah, man, I knew about it when I was in California. I mean, we didn't celebrate it, but I knew about it. But I think part of the reason why I knew about it because my mother's from Texas, and I think she might have lived in Galveston for some time. So, or somewhere in Texas. Or okay, so the announcement was in Galveston. The first official announcement was in Galveston. Then it spread from there. But I know in Galveston it gets cracking for Juneteenth. So, but even then, I mean, the way Black folks celebrate Cinco de Mayo and St. Patrick's Day, it doesn't matter where it happened. We should celebrate it. And then the majority of our roots are from the South anyway. So yeah. All right. So where's the brother at? Rahh. Hopefully he comes back on soon. Rahh. Where you at? You guys celebrated in Florida? They celebrated in Baltimore and Buffalo? Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that, a lot of people don't know about it. Healthy heavyweights, you're right. But it's just, again, Black people are so quick to celebrate everybody else's culture over our own. Yeah, but they were deep out there yesterday at Mosley Park. So yeah, hopefully we get Rahh back on here soon. Hopefully we get Rahh back on here soon. hopefully we get her back, get him back on soon. I'm Rahh. He's not here yet. All right, guys, what we'll do, we'll wait about 5 more minutes because this internet was just going in and out. And then we'll go ahead and log off. Hopefully you guys gained something from this chat. I'm sorry about the bad connection. I apologize, you know. And I don't want that to reflect the internet in Africa. Now, you could have great service, you just got to pay for it. I mean, that's pretty much how it works. Now, Kelly, the internet situation in Africa is fixed. It's just, again, you got to pay for the internet. You know, you just got to pay for it. I've been trying to get Professor Davis on again, but he's been real busy. He's working on a couple campaigns and some other projects. So okay, tell me about Zimbabwe. I really like to know what's going on in Zimbabwe. But there we go. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh.
I was gonna say, go ahead and turn your video off so we can go ahead and wrap up. Hey, amenkrahh, when you were in LA, I know I didn't see a lot of people celebrating it, but growing up in LA, did they celebrate Juneteenth at all?
Juneteenth?
Yeah.
No. We didn't celebrate Juneteenth much. I don't even remember. It's something like that.
But you know what's crazy, amenkrahh? Like, our people will celebrate St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo, and all these other holidays, but they would not. You did not see them celebrating Juneteenth. A lot of our people don't even know about it.
What is Juneteenth?
Hello? Yeah,
Hello?
did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I still going in and out?
No, you're fine. I was just seeing if you will respond to that.
Yeah, I did. I said, what is Juneteenth?
Oh, you don't even know about it. Goodness. It's when the slaves when they first got word of slavery was ended.
No, I never even heard of it.
That's crazy. I did. That's crazy. A lot of people don't know about.
You know, some people they make up you know, these holidays. That's what I was saying about the government. You know, there are so many think tanks that can, you know, make us sidetrack us to one thing when they see like we're focusing on something else.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I'm using a different device now.
Okay, yeah, it sounds a whole lot better.
Turn it on. Okay, maybe it's the computer.
Yeah, brother.
Can't believe it, but anyway.
Yeah, we'll we'll go ahead and continue our conversation and close out soon.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, basically what I'm trying to say is that I know it's not going to be a popular topic about comparing Ghana with the Kenya, because so many people have already invested a lot in coming to the West Coast, and I'm not really trying to attack it as such, like, you know, this one is better than this one. But the fact of the matter is, if you're black, if you were raised in the city, Kenya, a country like Kenya, and in some cases Tanzania, are a far better choice, or at least should command your attention to look at the countries. Now, I was on Google and I did a Ghana versus Kenya comparison, and I was basically shocked. I had done one a few years ago, and it told me what I had already, you know, pretty much knew. But ever since the brother came from Accra and told me that Accra was half the size of Mombasa, city, I was saying like, man, goodness, people are going to Ghana and they're not realizing that they can come to Kenya and get 5 times, more bang for their buck as far as opportunities are concerned. And when you come, it's the opportunities that's going to, that is one of the most important things, And so dealing with the people, all the things that I hear, Ghanaians are not that friendly towards Black Americans, not in the way Kenyans are, and Tanzanians and Ugandans, not the way they are. For some reason, Kenyans, and you can almost ask anybody across the board, the first thing they tell you that they love about Kenya is the people. And that's very important, because when people go out to help you, are humble, it makes your stay a lot better. Even if you had money, being feelings, you don't know who. But I'm not that. I mean, I'm not a rich person, and the friends that I have are genuine. You see, so and I know that are here from the U.S. They might have some of them or asking them for that goes for any rich person, if you were white, they still come to you and ask you, especially if you were white, they have that mentality, thinking whites have money. They rush to them and come up with all kind of dream-like stories. Oh, my cousin died, or we're having a funeral and need to transport the body to such and such a place. Hardship stories. So I was watching a video of a Black couple, an elderly Black American couple at the marketplace in Ghana, and the people in the marketplace was actually teasing them, and no one was really helping them. People were laughing at them, and in unison. But you thing happening in Kenya, if you found somebody that was mocking you or doing like that, you'd find like 3 or 4 people would rush up and pull that person to the side, because that's not acceptable behavior, in the country. So those are the things that I said. And then 2008 election violence, and I walked outside my door here, and I witnessed mom shop the shops. The funny thing, car, and then not that shop, go to that next shop, and he was on walkie-talkie. So I didn't know what to make of it. But the thing of the matter is, the funny thing was, a Muslim clergy, but a Muslim priest.
Hey, Rahh, the connection is the connection is I think it's getting worse. What we'll do, we'll just we could do like a part 2 to this next time, when you have a better connection. But what we'll do, we'll go ahead and close out. Hello?
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Hello? It must not be a problem. It's somewhere in the internet. Somewhere in the different, you say I'm still having the same problem?
Real quick. What about cost of living? Let's talk about the cost of living in Kenya.
lower than the cost of living in Ghana. Let me repeat that. The cost of living in Kenya is than the cost of living we're doing a comparison to any city, and I think Nairobi with Accra, and prices were cheaper. They were a little more expensive, but overall, they said that the apartments were far cheaper in Kenya than they are, in Nairobi than they are in Accra. And this what blew me away because, people they were always talking about they have cheap, housing is cheap, but it's like 20% cheaper in Nairobi than it is the comparable apartment is 20% cheaper in Nairobi than it is in Accra.
All right, cool. All right, brother. Anything else you wanna share in closing?
Okay, yeah. Like I wanted to say that I've been living in Africa for 21 years, and I have traveled, and I have lived. I have been a very poor man in Kenya, and I have been a very rich man in Kenya, and it's like a fluctuation. But I've made like almost no money a month to making the millions of shillings.
Okay. Hello. All right, guys. What we'll do? We'll go ahead and close out. I think we lost a brother, but everyone, thank you so much for joining us. I'll put the contact information to brother amenkrahh in the description box. So the next time, search for Huru Dynasty Samir. Peace. And I'll be back on later on today as well.